Thursday. We've been traveling a lot. But we're going to get back to the table next Monday, and I hope and I pray that we can reach a negotiated settlement. That's what we all want. Will what we're going through change the relationship on United? Yes, I think it will for a long term. I think it's permanently changed. I've accepted that because I have a responsibility. I have a responsibility not only to the pilots of this company, but a responsibility to the 42,000 other employees of this company. My responsibility is to see that this company remains viable, that this company remains healthy. And that's exactly what I am going to do. Please, please, if you make your decision, please make it consciously and with full knowledge. I'll respect it. It's understandable. But don't make it from a false assumption. I implore you, please don't. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Lloyd. He's got a few things he wants to say. And then, fellows, we'll be happy to, the few of you who are here, we'll be happy to take any questions that you might have.
I don't think there's any question, after listening to that, to what we've got to do. We've got a job ahead of us. We approach this job with the desire, as Dick has expressed, of trying to get this thing settled and continue the airline as we've known it. This has been probably the most emotional negotiations that I can ever remember in my career, and I'm sure a lot of you will think back. And there is no more emotional issues that have ever, I don't mean issues, I mean emotional times that have hit. If you take a look at the emotion on one side and the issues on one side, there is no strike issue. Take a look at our Boston proposal. For the incumbent pilots, that is, given wages, working conditions, retirement, that is still a leader in the industry of what the pilots will receive, the benefits, the working conditions, the wages. Take a look also at your career through United Airlines and as long as you've been with them. United's done pretty damn good by this pilot group. In 1983 and 1984 alone, there were over 3,000 promotions of United pilots. They averaged over a 12% pay raise. So many of you have not done too badly. This Boston proposal will still put your company at a cost disadvantage, but it's close enough that Dick thinks he can compete and we can go out there and kick some fannies with this. It's not as low cost as our competition, no way. But it's close enough that he thinks he can go make the investments and expand and get what we want to do and be where we want to be. We know you can strike. The pilots can strike this airline. That's no question. If you think that we're enjoying what we're doing, you're badly mistaken. This is a sad day. Dick mentioned it. It's sad for all of us. But understand, if we strike, if you strike, we will operate. How are we going to operate? Dick mentioned the ads and the permanent replacement. We have gone worldwide, and we have a capacity to train 600 pilots a month. Where are we going to get the pilots, you ask? We right now have on file, or had on file, there are more coming each day, about 5,500 applications. United normally hires about 20% of the applicants will pass through the screening and actually fly for this airline. We don't think that percentage will change any, although many of these highly qualified people that you and I could have been with if we hadn't had the fortune to be with United, many of these people out there are quality individuals. You know them. You know who they are. You know they're capable individuals. You know they're capable airmen. I think the acceptance rate of them will be much higher. How are we going to process this and do it, and at what rate? Dick mentioned months to recover. He's given me a charge, and we will live with this charge, and that is, depending on how many people return to work, the incumbents, the experienced airmen, the airmen that we've built this airline with, we will start this process, this training process. How long will it take us? I can't answer that. No one knows how many of the incumbents are coming back to work. But I can assure you this, he has charged me with this management team to try to rebuild this airline at a rate that we are comfortable with. And that's what we're going to do. There won't be any safety degradation. There won't be any standards erosion. We're not going to have the same airline. It's going to be different. The players may be different if the pilots strike. But the safety standards and the fidelity of this organization will not suffer. We're going to have to run it on a business basis, and to do so, we're going to take some actions. We're going to rebid the airline. I've heard screams, you can't do that. Yes, we can, and we're going to. We're going to rebid it. We're going to rebid it rapidly. The people that are here on the property are going to be eligible to bid this thing. The people that aren't on the property are not going to be eligible to rebid. Now, what does that mean to you? Obviously, if there are bids posted up there, when we run the award procedure, there are some people that are going to be out of seniority receive some bids. I can tell you this, we're going to live with those bids. We won't be able to train them overnight or instantly because we're going to have to run the airline. But I can assure you that those bids will be honored before we ever award any other vacancies and retrain. They will be honored. We may use them in this emergency period in a different posture, in a different position. We will salary protect them, and we will train them when we get this airline back to normal. We're going to close Miami and Washington if the pilots strike. We're looking at other domiciles. Those are gone if it happens. We're taking a close look at others because we're going to run this airline efficiently. I don't mean just tomorrow. I mean we're going to lay plans out for the ongoing long term to run this thing efficiently. We're looking at other domiciles. We're looking at all equipment domiciles. We're going to have an efficient operation from here on out. The seniority aspect. Dick alluded to the seniority while they're out on strike, while the pilots are on strike. If this happens, there will be a seniority adjustment.
And as you can see, this isn't a planned taping. We're just doing it so we can get the tape out. People want to hear what we got to say. But I think an important point is, I mentioned earlier that we're going to be hiring at a rate of training at a rate of 600 pilots per month. To do that, if the strike occurs on strike date 1, we are going to be making offers of permanent employment to those 600 people we've already picked. They will be brought, they'll leave their jobs, they'll come to United to go through training. What I want everyone to understand, and the thing we talked about earlier today, is if we hit that date and strike day 1 comes, and we hire those 600 people, plus the 300, they're going to have to give 2-week notice on their jobs, right?
Right.
So they can get ready to come into the cycle of training. We are now going to have made, by this corporation, a commitment to 900 people. And that is a commitment we will live with. Which means that if you are one of the 900 employees currently on the pilot seniority list and you withhold your service, the likelihood is that you will probably be what they say is permanently replaced.